Hello everyone, myself Devashish Das, Assistant Professor of Electronics Communication Engineering Department of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. Digital Signal Processing. This course is mainly for BTech students of Electronics and Communication Engineering of 5th semester. The subject code of it is ECE 504. In this session, we are going to cover up about the signals and what are the types of signals and their characteristics. First, in this session, we will introduce about the signals, and then after that, we are classify different types of signals according to their properties. So let's move into the introduction part. It is the introduction of signals, the where the signals is being applied and the where the signal and systems comes from. It is the various domain of the communication, circuit design, biomedical engineering, power system, speech processing, and etc. There are different fields of system and where the signals is used to deal with. These are the few examples of where the signal is being used. There are lots of many in our world where the signal is used in daily basis, and we have to process these signals. Now come to the definition of the signal. What is a signal is? Signal can be defined in various aspects. First is a set of informations or data. This definitions of signal is appropriate with the digital systems where the informations and data are kept stored. The function of one or more independent variables. We will going to see about the different types of signals, the dimensions of signals. Last, continuous information about the behavior nature of some phenomena. Signal can be a graphical representation of any phenomena or behavior. We'll see about it one by one. First, see some examples of signals. It is a very well known signal which is ECG, electrocardiograph. It is the signal of our heart. We can identify or become to know whether our heart is working properly or not from this ECG graph, or we can basically check the health of our heart with the help of ECG signals. We can see over here it is a ECG graph. When our heart is pulsing with its own harmony, we can get this type of signals from the ECG machine. So this is the ECG signals, which is a one example. In this x-axis it is the time and the heart beats are sensing with the help of the different sensors, and in this way the ECG machine produced the ECG graph or ECG graph, that is electrocardiogram. Now move to the next example. It is the example of a stock market, which is a continuous phenomena. It's open at 10 a.m. and close at 4 p.m. and we can see the how the stock market graph is changing or varying with time. In the x-axis it is time, and in y-axis there are some points. The points get vary over time. In this particular graph, the time is more and the graph is continuously going up. Sometimes it's fall, but it going up. In this way we can identify or become to know what is going over there with respect to time, how the points are going up or down with respect to time. It is an example of the graphical representation of a stock market. Now we going to these are the major classification of signals. One is multi-channel signal, another is multi-dimensional signal. According to the dimensions, the signals can be classified in multi-dimension or multi-channel. The multi-channel signals are those signals. The signals are generated by the multiple source or multiple sensors. It is the definitions of the multi-channel signals, and the multi-dimensional signals is the functions of multi-independent variable. We will discuss about it, but the multi-channel signals are the signals which is coming from different sources of sensors. Say a TV. TV is a multi-channel signal. Color TV, the sound came, the audio, video, pictures came. There are different sources of signals in a multi-channel signals. We will discuss the multi-dimensional signals. A signal is defined by a functions of one or more independent variables. The variable of functions can be real value, scalar, or a complex value, or a vector. We can see three examples of here: a real value signals, a complex value signals, and a vector signals. These are the examples of different signals. We'll move to our next slide. It is a multi-dimensional signals. We are discuss here different types of multi-dimensional signals. If a signal function of a signal independent variable, the signal called one-dimensional signals. If the signal is dependent only on one variable, then the signal is called one-dimensional signals. Similarly, a signal is called m-dimensional signals if it depends on m variables. If it is depend on one variable, then it is called the one-dimensional signals. If it's depend on m independent variable, then it is called the m-dimensional signals. We'll see the examples of it. A grape picture is an example of two-dimensional signals. Brightness of or the intensity, I is the intensity, xy is the location of that intensity in 2D plane. At each point is function of two independent variables. The black and white TV picture I, xy, and t is the time, is three-dimensional signal since the brightness is function of time. As the TV is on, the brightness going to change continuously with respect to time, and according to the brightness and time the picture get changes. Similarly, the color TV is a multi-channel multi-dimensional signals, is a combinations of two multi-channel and also a multi-dimensional signals. We can see IRGB. These are the red, green and blue. These three are the prime color of any color TV, because with the help of these three colors we can build any color combinations in a color TV. That is why it is called the primary colors. And in a color TV, the multi-channel means the TV is functioning with the help of sound and the audio and video signals, so both are there. So it is the multi-channel, and multi-dimensional means it has many dimensions. That means it's depend on red, green and blue, and also it depend upon time and position. XY is the position of 2D plane, so it's depend upon all. So it is the color TV is a multi-channel multi-dimensional system. It is a system, but it use multi-dimensional and multi-channel signals, the color TV. Okay, now we are moving to our next slide. These are the main classifications of the signals depending upon its characteristics. Depending upon the characteristics of the signals, the signal can be classified into 5 categories. One, continuous time and discrete time signals, deterministic and stochastic signals, that means deterministic or non-deterministic signals, or random signals rather say. Third one is periodic and aperiodic signals. Fourth one is even and odd signals, and fifth one is energy and power signals. We will go discuss each and every classification of these signals one by one, and we will going to understand it's very thoroughly. So first came continuous and discrete time signals. What is continuous and what is discrete? We'll discuss about it in this topic. Continuous time signal is a signal that is specified for every value of time t. That means the signal has each and every value for each and every time. So first, here is the graphical representation of the signals. We will discuss the continuous time signal. Here it is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. The x-axis is the time axis, it is continuous time, you can see, and for each time there is a particular value of a signal. That means each and every point of time the signal pauses or signal has a value depending upon the function of the signal. So this is the continuous time signal. That means it is continuous in amplitude and continuous in time. Both are continuous. In the discrete time signal, on the other hand, there is a discrete time signal, a signal that is specified only at discrete value of time. That means here we can see the signal, the time domain is segregated or divided in some specific time zone, and for that specific time there is a value of the signals, but there is no value in between these two specific time zone. There is no value. It has a particular or definite value for a definite time period. This is the major difference between a continuous and the discrete time signals. We'll explain it. The most important thing, our whole world is real world is continuous in time. That means we are talking, we are seeing, we are chatting, whatever we do. For example of from our concern, if we talk continuously. So, and the microphone which produce or which convert our voice into electrical energy in continuous nature, something like this. If we can plot the output of the microphone in a CRO, you can see that we can get a continuous voltage fluctuation curve from a microphone. It is the beauty of the continuous time signal. The whole world is real world is continuous. For each and every point, you can see it is the function of t. For each and every point, it is continuous. At each and every point of time, you can get the value of x of t, means y-axis. In a discrete time signals, on the other hand, it is a definite, what we have talked about. For a definite, it is n sample, it is the n. For a particular value of n, there is a value of x of n. For a particular value of n, there is a xn. When in between these 2 points, we cannot get any value. In between these 2 points, we cannot get any value, as the signal is discrete. And we can see this is the representation of a discrete time signals. It is defined of x of n equal to n into k. K is the time difference between these two samples. K is the time difference between these two samples. We'll discuss it. It is the continuous sinusoidal signal. It is a continuous sinusoidal signal. We can see it is a sine wave. Sine wave has a main property. First is the amplitude, frequency and phase. First comes the amplitude. We'll discuss one by one. First comes the amplitude. Amplitude is the deviations, maximum deviation in the x-axis, that is x of t. In the y-axis, the maximum deviations, it is take place over here and over here, and this two difference and this two height difference is the amplitude a. Y-axis gives us the amplitude of the signal, and the x-axis is determine the time. In the x-axis there is a time, and y-axis give me the amplitude. So three major elements: amplitude, frequency and phase. Amplitude we have seen. We are now going to the frequency. Frequency is the one to make a one full oscillations. To complete a one full oscillations of the signal, the time taken to make the complete oscillation is called the frequency. Frequency is the time take to make a complete oscillations. We can see the signal starts from this point and it's complete revolute and end over here. So it is a complete cycle. It can be start from initial value, or we can measure peak to peak value for our concern. The time is the time period. It is called the time period. To make a complete oscillation, it is called the time period. The time period, both are the same, either these 2 points or these 2 points, they are the same, and we can get the capital T as a time period, and T, we know the T equal to 1 by f, where f is the frequency, and in this way we can find the frequency of a signal. First we have to determine the time period, capital T. Then if I inverse this T, 1 by T, we can get the frequency. So f equal to 1 by T or T equal to 1 by f, both are same. In this way we can calculate the frequency of a signal. We have to identify the time period and we have to inverse the time period to get the frequency. It is the continuous sine wave or sinusoidal signal. Now we are going to move, and this is the mathematical representation of the sinusoidal wave, where A is the amplitude of the signal, is the cos term which is represent, or sine term, both are the same. W means omega t, t is the time, omega is the frequency, W is the frequency. Here it is represented as W. W is the frequency, it is in radian per second. W is 2 pi f and f is 1 by t, both are same. So it is the representation of sinusoidal signal, continuous sinusoidal signal. Now we are going to the discrete sinusoidal signal. We can see it is the representation of the digital discrete time sinusoidal signal. Here the sinusoidal is not continuous in nature, it is discrete, so it can be represented as a n and the omega n, and omega n should be finite. From this notation we can see the n should be finite. So this is the representation of discrete time sinusoidal signal. In this picture we can clearly see how a continuous sinusoidal signal can be represented as a discrete sinusoidal signals. dt means discrete time, ct means continuous time. It is the continuous time sinusoidal signal and it is the discrete time sinusoidal signal. In case of continuous time, each and every point has a value, but in discrete time, for particular of time or definite time, there is a definite value. In this way, there are continuous time sinusoidal signal and the discrete time sinusoidal signal are there. Now we are going to move in our next slide. It is the deterministic signal and non-deterministic signal or random signal. Deterministic or random signal or non-deterministic signals. Deterministic signals means which can be determined. From the name we can identify it can be determined. Behavior of this signal is predictable, that is we are going to predict the value of the signals. There is no uncertainty with respect to its value at any time, this signal can be expressed mathematically. For example, it is a sinusoidal signal which is a deterministic. That means we can find the value for each and every point. So deterministic means it has a definite value for definite value of time. Now comes the random signal or non-deterministic signal. Random signal means, from the name of the signals, it is random in nature. That means the signal doesn't have any finite value for a finite time. You can see over here, these signals cannot be expressed mathematical rules. For example, thermal noise. Not only thermal noise, any kinds of noise which is unwanted is the random signals. And the noise, as the noise is random in nature, so it is non-deterministic. That means we cannot predict a noise from the earlier stages. So noise is a unwanted signals and it is always random in nature. Now we are moving to our next slide. In this slide we will discuss about the periodic signal and aperiodic signals. So from the name you can identify the periodic signal has a particular period in nature, and aperiodic means it doesn't have a period. What is period? We are going to talk about the signals repeat itself after a specific interval of time is called a periodic signal. That means a signal which repeat after a specific interval is called the period of the signals. An aperiodic signal which doesn't repeat itself after a specific interval of time, and the periodic signals that repeats a pattern over a period of called the periodic signals. On the other hand, the aperiodic signals do not repeat, or it doesn't have any kinds of pattern after certain interval of time. You can see in this chart what are the characteristics of a periodic signals and aperiodic signals. Just come to the pictures of these periodic signals. In this picture we can see a signal is repeat itself after a certain period of time. It is the T time period. After certain period of time means this time period, after certain time period it's repeat itself. That is why it is called the periodic signals. And in this figure in the right side you can see there is no periodic nature of these signals. That is why it is the aperiodic or non-periodic signals. Both are same, aperiodic and non-periodic, both are same. So for periodic signals there is a particular time period the signal get repeats again and again, and for the non-periodic signals or aperiodic signal the signal does not repeat. We'll go to the mathematical derivations of these periodic and non-periodic signals. For the periodic signals, the derivation is for the periodic signals over there. We can represent a periodic signals given xt is a continuous time signals, and the signal is periodic if x of t is x of t plus capital T0. T0 is the time period after which the signal repeats. That means from where the signal starts from. In this way we can write the definitions of a periodic signal or expression of a periodic signals. This is the expression of a periodic signals. We can prove this phenomena with the help of a cos function. Cos function, we all know that a cos function is a periodic function. With the help of cos function we can prove that this cos function is a periodic in nature. You can see these derivations over there. We just put the time period t0, we just simplify it, and you can see how the cos function is again repeat. This 2 pi gets cos omega t plus 2 pi has the same value of cos omega t. So if we add the period, we can get the same value. These are the xt, and xt plus t has the same value of the signal. That is why the cos function is the periodic function, and t0 is the time period. We can write it like 1 by f0. F0 is the frequency of this cos function. Omega is the angular frequency, and f is the linear frequency. We all know. In this way we can prove that the periodic function has a particular period and its repeat after that particular periods. But in case of non-periodic, this is not going to happen. Now we come to the even and odd signals. In case of even and odd signals, from the definitions we can see a signal xt or xn is referred to as an even function if it satisfies the under two conditions. We will explain these conditions one by one. And for the signals xt or xn is referred to as an odd function or odd signals if it satisfies this condition. Ct means continuous time signal and dt means discrete time signals. T is for continuous time and n is for discrete time. We'll discuss about it. Now what is this condition is? The x of minus t is xt for an even signals. For even signals we can get a symmetry of the signals. Means if it is the 0 axis or the y axis, and we can get the both side symmetry of the signal, then the signal is called the even signal. And if it is odd signal, we cannot get the symmetry. You can see it is just inverted. If it is positive, it is go to negative. X of minus t becomes a negative x of t. So in case of positive section, we get a inverted image of this signal. So in this case there is a symmetry happens, but in this case the symmetry does not. So if there is a symmetry in the graph, then the function, then it is called the even signal or function. And if it's not present the symmetry, then it is called the odd function, or it is inverted in nature. It should be -1, negative should be there. We will move another example of even and odd functions for the continuous time. In the previous slide it is for the both continuous, it is for continuous and it is discrete. is continuous, it is discrete, but in this example it is, we are talking about a pure continuous function, whether it is even or odd. For the first case it is the even function, and the next case it is the odd function. We can see for the even functions there is a symmetry over there, and in the case of odd functions there is no symmetry. We can summary it, even functions are asymmetric about the vertical axis or time origin, whereas an odd function is an anti-symmetric about the origin. It is the most important criteria for an even or odd functions. In this way we can identify whether the function is even or odd. So we are moving to our next topic. It is the property of the even and odd functions. This is the three properties of the even and odd functions. If we multiply these even functions with odd functions, we can get odd functions. If we multiply the odd functions with odd functions, we get even functions. And if we multiply a even functions with even function, we always get a even functions. It's similar to the even and odd numbers, pretty similar to that. Now we are going to our next signal, which is energy signal and power signal. These are the two signals which is can be referred to as energy signals and power signals. First we define the energy signals. A signal is referred to as an energy signals if and only if the total energy of the signals satisfy the conditions 0, it should be greater than 0, less than infinite. That means the energy of the signals has a finite value. On the other hand, it is referred to as a power signals and only if the average power of the signals satisfy the conditions. The power of the signal should be greater than 0 and less than infinite. That means the power of the signals should be finite. And energy signals has 0 average power, whereas the power signal has a infinite energy. The periodic signals and the random signals are usually viewed as a power signals, whereas signals that are both deterministic and non-periodic are energy signals. These are the definitions of the energy and power signals. There are some mathematical representations of these energy and power signals. We'll discuss about it in our next slide. So it is very important for an energy signals, the energy should be finite, and for the power signals, the average power of the signals should be finite. And the energy signals has a 0 average power, whereas the power signal has a finite energy. So we are going to move about the mathematical representation of these energy signals and power signals. So in this slide we can see the mathematical representation of the energy signals and power signals. For the first expression for the energy signals, and the second expression is for the power signals. You can see first form is the integration form of the energy signal, and it is the summation form of the energy signals, and simultaneously it is the integration form of the power signals, and this is the summation form of the power signals. You can see from this expressions what we have discussed, they are point one by one over there. Some have infinite average power, energy, or both. A signal is called energy signals if it has finite energy. On the other hand, the power signal has a finite power. These two are the more important point. A signal can be energy signal, a power signal, or neither type. That means neither a energy signal nor a power signal. And this is the most important thing. The signal cannot be the signal cannot be both a energy signal and the power signal. So a signal cannot be both energy signal and power signal, but a signal can neither be energy signal nor a power signal, or nor both. This is the most important point. So in this way we can classify the whole signals in different categories. Thank you for watching. If you have any queries, you can contact to me. The contact number is given. The same number can be used as WhatsApp number. If you have any queries or doubt, you can call me or WhatsApp me to this number. Thank you very much.